My name is Wendy Joseph. I come from Seattle, Washington, and we drove here just a few days ago. On the way, we stopped at Nez Perce, Washington, where Chief Joseph of the Nez Perce is buried. He led the people on the infamous retreat to Canada in 1877, where he gave his, they didn't get to Canada. He led them toward Canada in 1877, and at that time when the cavalry, the U.S. cavalry, finally caught them, he made his famous surrender speech, which ends, of course, from where the sun now stands, I will fight no more forever. Well, actually, he did keep fighting. There was no violence anymore. There were no more Nez Perce Indian wars. But Joseph went to Washington. They tried to move his people away from where they wanted to go and then move them a little closer, and Joseph kept fighting for the rest of his life to go home. That's all they wanted, was to go home. And they never did get there. They remain, the Nez Perce and the other tribes, the Colville tribes in Washington, are all on the reservation there. And many from his original band are buried in the cemetery with him, including my great-grandmother, Rosanna Sweeney, who married an Irishman but was herself Nez Perce and was on the march north in 1877. The graves there, Joseph's is in good shape. They take care of that one with even a sign in Arabic on the grave, along with beads and trinkets and memorials and stones. The other graves, the unmarked ones, have maybe a few stones around the perimeter. Many have crosses that are fallen down or white chipped paint, and there are no names, so I do not know where my grandmother is, but I know I could view her and all the others there, and they were crying from the ground. And the scars, this is Standing Rock, North Dakota, and the scars here in this land run deep. We are here to try and heal the wounds so there will be no more scars. Last night we were dancing around the sacred fire, and I thought about Wounded Knee and the ghost dance and how they danced and believed they could change things and make it better, and then the terrible massacre happened. I sometimes feel now that we're just waiting for that massacre here, but I am going to stay as long as I can, and when I have to leave, I am going to come back. And we are all peaceful here. We all want to heal all the wounds in this land. The Chief Joseph story and the suffering there gets me to the heart. And especially the line, it is cold and we have no blankets. It gets cold here in North Dakota, not nearly as cold as it's going to get this winter, but thank God I do have a blanket, though it is still pretty cold here in the night. It's wonderful today. This is a beautiful, gorgeous day. And we've got people from everywhere. This is the largest gathering of all the different tribes I think that has ever been. And over there we have Mongolian yurts. We've got tents, teepees, people in campers, and we've got Indians, full blood, partly blood, no Indian blood. We've got black people and Asian people and Mexican people, and everybody is here, whether they're Indian or not, because we all believe in the same thing. In the power of the power of water, as water is life, Mini Wachona, and that we are here and solid, and that we can do something about keeping things clean and pure and healing the damage and the wounds, and not letting terrible things happen. I have a car that I've been using to run people on errands. I took someone to vote yesterday and ran others into town so they could run their errands and do shopping and so forth. And I'm available for pretty much anything they need done that I can do. I haven't been physically or mentally that well for the last couple of days, but I certainly don't intend to be a burden on anyone. I want to help where I can, do what I can.
So is that also tied to the Nez Perce, the idea of helping with these needs and basic necessities, a connection back to the
Yeah.
Nez Perce. And
They struggled so hard to survive, and I believe out of a small band of somewhere around 500 people, many of them women and children, many of whom died, there were only about 200 left at the end of their 1,100-mile retreat, which military historians have called one of the greatest strategic retreats in history. And I feel for them very, very much. And I can put myself there and see snow on the bitter roots and